Hey everyone, it's me, Brian Altano. I'm here with Tom Marks, our PC editor here at IGN. Big changes are coming to Star Wars Battlefront 2, but are they too little too late? Let's find out.
It's a good question, man. I mean, to their credit, I think that the changes are really good.
Yeah.
Like, I think that a lot of what they're doing addresses a lot of the problems that I had in my review of Star Wars Battlefront 2 at first. They're completely removing the loot crate kind of star card interactions. It's all going to be just when you play a specific class, you level up that class, you get skill points for them, and then you spend those skill points on specific star cards or upgrading specific star cards.
Which I dig, and I think very, very early on, before this game came out, obviously you probably already downvoted this video, but there's been like a toxic cloud around the name Star Wars Battlefront 2 because the progression system was effectively launched to microtransactions. You know, like pay to win, get better by paying more money, which is kind of nonsense, right? They stripped all of those elements out in terms of being able to pay for them yourself, but they kept the loot boxes in there as part of the progression system, which meant killing a bunch of bad guys or good guys, whoever you kill, and taking those points and applying them to this randomized category of different crates that you can open up. And then getting a bunch of star cards that maybe you wanted, maybe you didn't. And then using the extra points that you got also in those crates to upgrade the star cards you had. It was incredibly convoluted.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there are a third currency called crystals.
Right.
So it's all nuts. So all of that is gone now.
Yeah, for the most part.
The loot crates are still there.
They're only going to have credits and cosmetics in them. And part of this is that they're also finally starting to roll out new cosmetics.
Right.
Which is like something the game was 100% missing and has been missing for a long time. Like, I could see the star card system I could see a version of what they had before, like maybe working if there was more meaningful like cosmetics or something.
I totally agree.
But it just was not good at the time.
No, and it sucks. Like, I mean, we're huge Star Wars fans. We're always just talking about it between the wall of Star Wars toys that literally separates our desk. And it was such a bummer to play this game and be like, oh, you only have like one costume for Luke or two costumes for Han. And I'm like, they've been in so many different outfits in these games or in these movies, all these different appearances. Like, give me all those things. This is supposed to be like a fantasy toy box, basically, right? Like, nothing in any movie was there a scene where Yoda and, and Rey are fighting each other.
Right.
You can do that in the game. So if we're going to lose all that suspension of belief, then just go nuts with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so progressing in this game, if you've been playing it still, which some of you probably still have, I know I still check in every now and then. I have a bunch of star cards unlocked. They are maxed out. They're purple, those all stay, right?
Yes.
So everything I've done so far stays.
You keep everything you already have. They're not trying to like burn anybody who has invested into this system, which I think is smart. It does kind of bring up that question of like, well, that power disparity, like the lingering effects of that are there. But the thing that really I appreciate about this new system and that I really like about it is if I only want to play one class and I only want to play that class and I just want to focus in on the heavy and not play anything but the heavy, I will make progress towards the heavy.
Yeah.
And I will level up my heavy. And like, I really like that because that was missing. Like you were saying, the randomization of like, I opened a box and I got a card for a thing I don't use and it's like not even a good one. And it's like, why is that?
That was such a big part of it because I did play as a heavy and I still do because it fits my body type. And the more I played, the more I would unlock crates and I'd open up a crate and it'd be like, you improved your AT-ST's blasters when you unlocked that character for half a second or that vehicle for half a second. Or they're like, oh, you have more scout grenades. And I'm like, I'm not playing as that character. The weird thing about that, though, is that a lot of the daily challenges do sort of push you into that, like kind of like unfamiliar territories, which I do dig about that game because I never wanted to play as a scout. And then one day a challenge was like, try it out. And I gave it a shot. And then they're like, oh, maybe upgrade some of your star cards as a scout. And I was like, I'll do that too. So I think coming into this game for the first time right now, this week, if there's something you plan on doing, which I'm sure you can get at some sort of fire sale or it's on sale or half price or whatever at this point, you will be sort of coming in at a disadvantage because a lot of people will have upgraded star cards and stuff like that, but it feels like you'll be able to catch up quicker, and that's cool. That I dig.
Yeah, and I agree, and you'll be able to catch up in more meaningful ways too. This update does go live on March 21st, and there are a lot of questions I'm left with.
Yeah.
The is it too little too late question is a really big one for me still. It's like, I don't know. Like, I think that this game already sold incredibly well. Maybe not as well as EA was expecting, but like...
It was one of the best-selling games of last year, but it was still below their expectations, which is always like crazy to hear. But yeah, no, I'm totally with you, and I think that like By the time the first Battlefront game dropped to like $20 with all the DLC and season pass stuff, I was like, this is a no-brainer if you're a Star Wars fan. And I think we're like rapidly encroaching on that territory. More importantly, what I really want to know is what their content plan is for more cosmetic stuff, more maps, more modes, all that kind of stuff. And they keep hinting that it's coming, but by this time in the life cycle of the last Battlefront game, we kind of had a more clear roadmap of what the next year looked like.
Right.
The fact that they've ripped out all season pass stuff this time around and that they're just putting out stuff for free and then charging for cosmetics means that road's a little rockier. So I'm excited to see more Star Wars stuff. I'm excited to see this game grow. Games do grow and evolve over time more than ever now, and that's kind of cool to see. And this one had kind of a stink around it at launch, so let's hope it comes into something that can actually, be recommendable to all of the Star Wars fans out there who love it.
And even if it is too little too late, I'm just happy it's finally here.
Me too.
I'm just happy we finally know what they're doing.
Me too. Yeah, and then also it probably means that they'll never make another Star Wars game with microtransactions at launch, so that's good news. For all things Star Wars Battlefront and everything video game, I'm Brian, that's Tom, and this is IGN.